What comic book superhero team has been rebooted in almost every decade for the past 60 years? Keep watching this episode of Goji's Toy Box to find out. Hello and welcome back to this latest edition of Goji's Toy Box. What will be coming out of the toy box today, and what story will they tell? Let's take a look. Looks like today we're going to talk about the mighty Crusaders. Our story begins during the golden age of comics, when in 1939, three men, Maurice Coyne, Louis Silberkleit, and John L. Goldwater, established MLJ Magazines, Inc., the name MLJ being taken from the first initial of the first name of each man. MLJ's comic book output included superheroes such as the Black Hood, the Comet, and the Shield, the very first American patriotic superhero who preceded Captain America by 13 months. MLJ also published comics featuring the adventures of all-American teenager Archie Andrews. Archie became their most popular character, and in 1946, MLJ's comic imprint changed their name to Archie Comics. This led many fans to refer to the superheroes we're about to talk about in this video as the Archie superheroes. The popularity of comic book superheroes waned in the 1950s, but they came back strong in the early 1960s, thanks to DC Comics rebooting some of their Golden Age characters and the creation of all new superheroes at Marvel Comics. Two of the most popular comic books of that time were DC's Justice League of America and Marvel's Avengers. This prompted Archie Comics to revive some of its Golden Age superheroes and team them with some new heroes made for the Silver Age. And in 1965, they formed a team called the Mighty Crusaders. Archie created a brand new imprint for its 1960 superhero revival, Mighty Comics. The Mighty Crusaders was written by Superman's co-creator Jerry Siegel, but the title attempted to recreate the camp tone of the then very popular Batman television show. And when translated to comics, it didn't quite work. So the title was canceled after only 7 issues. In 1983, as the direct comics market was expanding, and many new publishers were popping up, Archie brought back the Mighty Crusaders under the Red Circle Comics imprint. Both writing and art duties for this relaunch were done by comics veteran Rich Buckler, who brought together the characters the Shield, the Comet, the Black Hood, the Fly, Fly-Girl, the Web, and the Jaguar in a new iteration of the team. Besides the Mighty Crusaders, Red Circle Comics also published solo series for several of the Mighty Crusaders members, as well as resurrecting one of its Golden Age titles, Blue Ribbon Comics. But after a few months, Red Circle transformed into Archie Adventure Series, the same imprint used to publish the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comics when Archie had the license from Mirage Studios. The modern-day incarnation of the Fox, as we see here, made his debut in Blue Ribbon Comics number 6 in 1984. His secret identity is Paul Patton Jr., a photographer with martial arts skills who fights crime as the Fox. The Fox is a legacy character, the original being Paul Patton Sr., a character who appeared a few times in the 1940s and the 1960s, who passed the mantle of the Fox down to his son. Beyond being a martial artist, the Fox has no special powers or abilities. He knows martial arts, he's got a funky suit, and I guess that's all you need to become a superhero. This incarnation of the Mighty Crusaders also didn't last long, with the title being cancelled with issue number 13 in 1985. But during that time, they did manage to get a toy line. In 1984, toy maker Remco licensed the Mighty Crusaders characters for a toy line. Remco was no stranger to making licensed comic book toys, having created lines for both DC's Sergeant Rock and Warlord in 1982. But unlike the Sergeant Rock and Warlord action figure lines, which resembled G.I. Joe and Masters of the Universe respectively, the Mighty Crusaders figures didn't match the style or scale of anything else on the market. The figures are about 4¼ inches tall, and as you can see from the sculpt, they are done in a very weird, squat-looking style. The proportions are very wonky on these figures. I think most of the problem is the legs are entirely too short. It just makes them look very strange. The figures did have an action feature, which is a spring in the arm to give them a punching action. They each came with a variety of accessories like belts, guns, rifles, and holsters. And they each came packed in with what Remco called a secret sonic signaling shield, which was basically a plastic shield with a whistle built in. Just a whistle. The Mighty Crusaders toy line consisted of 4 heroes and 4 villains, 8 figures total, no vehicles, no playsets, just the figures and that's it. Being that they were so strangely designed, and were based solely on a short-lived comic book that was sold only in the direct market, the toy line did not last long, and it wound up being one of many strange footnotes in 80s action figure history. But the Mighty Crusaders weren't done yet. In 1991, DC Comics licensed the Archie superheroes and launched a new imprint called Impact Comics. Impact Comics reimagined the classic Archie heroes, the Shield, the Black Hood, the Comet, the Web, the Fly, and the Jaguar, targeting a younger audience than the mainstream DC output. The heroes came together again in a group book called The Crusaders, dropping the Mighty from the team name. The Impact Comics initiative only lasted about 2 years, and although some of these solo hero titles reached issue numbering up into the teens, the Crusaders title only lasted 8 issues. Years after the end of Impact Comics, DC licensed the Archie superheroes once again, in 2010, in the wake of their Final Crisis event. This time, not only did DC reimagine these characters once again, but they integrated them into the DC Universe proper. 2 ongoing series for the Shield and the Web were followed by a Mighty Crusaders series, which lasted 7 issues. It's unclear if DC had intended for this to be a permanent acquisition, as many times in the past, DC has taken characters from different companies like Fawcett Comics, Quality Comics, and Charlton Comics, and outright purchased them to include in their universe, but this did not happen with the Archie superheroes. And since the conclusion of that Mighty Crusader series, these characters have not been seen in the DC universe again. After DC's second attempt to relaunch those characters failed, Archie decided it was time for them to take another shot. In 2012, they launched the New Crusaders, a direct continuation of their 1980s Mighty Crusader titles, which featured the children of the original heroes. The writer of New Crusaders, Ian Flynn, expressed an interest on following up on many of the dangling plot threads from the cancelled 1980s series. But of course, that never happened. Archie decided to change direction with the characters, and the New Crusaders only lasted for 6 issues. The characters were then relaunched again when the Red Circle imprint changed into Dark Circle. Several superhero titles, including a 4-issue Mighty Crusader series, were published under the Dark Circle banner between 2015 and 2017. Since the conclusion of the Dark Circle initiative, the Mighty Crusader characters have popped up here and there under the Archie Comics imprint. This includes a Mighty Crusaders The Shield series, which saw involvement from Rob Liefeld, And their latest title was another reimagining of the Jaguar, published in 2024. The Mighty Crusaders, the Archie superheroes, the Red Circle superheroes, whatever you want to call them, are a group of characters that have always existed on the fringe of superhero comics. Many superhero fans know of their existence, but after all the different relaunches, they have still failed to catch on in a big way. But there always seem to be comic book creators that have a love for these characters and want to take a shot at reinventing them. And maybe someday someone will come across a magic formula that will keep the attention of superhero fans long term. That's it for this one. Have you ever heard of the Mighty Crusaders or the Archie superheroes in any of their incarnations? Did you have any experience with the old 1980s Remco toy line? Let me know in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching, thank you for your time and attention, and I'll see you in the next video.